You're not a parent.
This fella's done such a good job, you know. Pretty much his whole performance has just been non-verbal. Do you know what? They've kept it from us for so long who this guy is. I kind of hope he's not Gandalf at this point. Because they're teasing it so long and so much. I'm like, nah, there feels like there's something else to this.
Nori.
Yeah, there she is. Oh. Oh no, it's the, yeah, you know, I know. Can't say it apparently. Hello and welcome to the finale of Rings of Power. We are on episode 8. I poured myself a drink because it is an event, mate. I hope you are comfortable. We are going to see how they end this first season. I'm excited, I'll be honest with you. A little bit reserved, I'll be honest with you as well. I do feel like we have got a season so far that, I don't know, there feels like there's at least 3 more episodes left. Do you know, am I the only one? It's been slow paced, I've enjoyed that a lot, but I do feel like as a result of that pace and structure, I don't know, it just feels like we're getting this finale too soon. I don't know what they can kind of wrap up, and I don't know how they can make this a finale that I can come off of and be like, wow, yeah, they wrapped up a first season. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at the start of this episode. That's the foundation we're going to be going on with. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. Thank you for joining me. And without further ado, let us find out. Don't take it, mate. It's a trick. It's a trap.
Tulil men noritas.
Okay.
Haru Sauron.
What? Okay, regardless of what I just said. Because that is essentially what I said I wanted. I don't know about that. I don't know if that... Is this a trick? I feel like this is a trick. Is this a trap? Okay, Tyler, hey, don't get drawn in, mate. Don't get drawn in. Interesting. Okay, we've immediately gone into the opening credits here. It's giving you as the audience time to mull that over, think about it, react to it. Immediately, not super happy about that. I didn't want it to be Gandalf at this point. I honestly didn't. Did I want it to be Sauron? Do I feel like that makes sense? Do I think maybe it's another bluff? Because I do feel like Halbrand to a certain extent is a red herring. I do. So that's where I'm leaning at the moment. I kind of hope there's a little bit more to that. Let's see. Early days in the finale, mate.
Expecting to be presented with a means of saving all Elvendom, and we have none.
Boys, just throw a party. You'll be fine. You'll forget your troubles, I swear to God, man. Couple casks of wine, mate. You won't remember who your fucking mum is. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a bit more Celebrimbor, you know.
How is it you are here?
Right, it's been a while, boys.
I should have never have set you on that ship. I should have trusted you.
Yeah.
I have missed you. What are we to do?
That's nice. We see that little bond between them. Oh, who is it? Hello. Hello. We've all been assuming that he's going to come across Sauron at some point. Halbrand. Okay, yeah.
Galadriel here.
We're bouncing back to Halbrand as Sauron. Sorry, I'm so skeptical that it's the stranger. The show literally tells me and I'm like, nah. No.
The Celebrimbor. He's not here, is he?
Well, as a matter of fact, he is.
Go on, stroke your own dick. You deserve it. Why would Halbrand know about Celebrimbor? Can I just ask? Maybe there is an explanation, but I don't know.
Apprentice who used to speak of the wonders of your craft.
Okay, fair enough, no, maybe.
He was Smith.
Maybe he's just that famous, but I'm like, why do you know this? I don't know, man. He just keeps, he knows stuff. And again, I don't want Halbrand to be Sauron either. I keep saying that. I do want Halbrand to be Halbrand. I feel like the best arc for his, like, me, in my personal opinion, I feel like the best arc for him is honestly to just get corrupted. I feel like if they do that kind of an arc, right, it'd be so tragic because he is a character I feel like that a lot of people who like the show like. I do feel like that would hit harder. It kind of takes it away from me if he's Sauron, do you know what I mean? If he is Sauron and he can't be any of those people. So we'll see. God, I don't know what would make me happy, sorry. We'll see. Let's see what they do. Play.
What do you plan to use them for?
The 3 elven rings, to be, perhaps.
This is a peculiar ore.
I get that Halbrand's a smith, but he's
Enough for what?
immediately very curious.
Have you tried combining it with other ores? At the risk of sounding a fool, couldn't the right alloy also amplify those qualities?
This feels so Sauron Celebrimbor.
Might there not be some alloy to amplify the qualities of your ore?
You seem to know it. He's a smith. He's a smith. It makes sense, but like it doesn't. Do you know?
Call it a gift.
By the way, quick comment, because I've never mentioned it throughout this whole thing. I haven't actually seen a lot of like cast interviews, I'll be honest with you, but I have heard a few of them talk now. Honestly, their accents in this are so good. If you've heard, by the way, any of the cast talk, a lot of them are doing accents and a lot of them are really good. Apparently they've done like, I don't know, something like 6 months of voice work or something, like voice coaching, and man, Mwah. Like, well done. Like, honestly, all of their voices and all of their accents are so spot on.
No man.
I don't trust him. Those eyebrows, mate. It's been a while, but I remember.
In the coming days, each of you will be granted.
A bit weird, innit? I'll be honest with you. Oh, he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet? Oh.
What you have been doing in the dark of night,
What's she been doing?
and there is still time.
Sauron? I'm so blind, I can't see it. They've muddied the waters too much. Oh, sprightly old man. Fair play to him. Are you off, mate? Oh.
I looked for too long.
Oh, the Palantir.
No, I cannot separate what is from what was.
Oh, damn. I like the weight that it gives to the Palantir with that just little line there and the little way that he talked about it. It roots in the show how powerful and how changing they can be and how influential they can be on the people around them.
Precisely what manner of object?
A crown, a circular form, will be ideal.
He's getting there.
You would place all that power upon the brow of one being?
Not just anyone being High King. You.
Good question, but...
Perilous are these whisperings.
Ooh, good. Wise.
You should not be standing here at all.
Don't be so rude. Yeah, no, interesting. I don't put a lot of stock in Gil-galad, I'll be honest with you. Like, from what I've seen of him, he doesn't seem like necessarily the best king. I don't know, just the depiction in the show, and I know that a lot of people have taken issue with that. I think just his depiction in the show, as a character in the show, hasn't been like the most, confident, inspiring in me as a king. But that little bit there, that little interaction with him, you know, they're offering him this power. They're like, hey, well, you know, this power. And he's like, oh, I don't know about that, mate. One person, and then they're like, yeah, but you don't. And he's still like, I don't know. Hey man, that throws his character in a very noble, very wise light. Nice, man. I like that. Again, I do kind of wish we'd seen a bit more Gil-galad throughout the series as well. I can remember like 3 scenes with him. I'm sure he's had more. But the first one when he banishes Galadriel, the one where he's having a conversation with Elrond, and this one. I'm absolutely more than positive that he's had more scenes than that. But those are the ones. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like he's had like a big presence in the show, and that to me is a lot of character development right there, which I don't feel like we've been getting, and it feels so big because we haven't been getting a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? But hey, again, slow pacing, and perhaps we're going to be getting more of him from further seasons. Slightly disappointing, but also hopeful.
Since the Mountain of Fire's eruption, the great tree is all but bleeding leaves.
And this is the thing. Orodruin, Mount Doom, erupts, and his focus is on the elves and the tree. It's so selfish, and it's so not why they're in Middle-earth, I feel.
We are on the cusp of crafting a new kind of power, strength, and spirit. Not of the flesh, but over flesh.
That's important.
This is a power of the...
Very Sauron, and she knows that, and that's what we're seeing. From him, it's obviously... I mean, hey, maybe he's Sauron, maybe he's not... Tyler, you gotta stop. Do you know what? Robert Aramayo does those little looks there from under his brow so well.
Those words. Power over flesh.
Good.
Where
Confront.
did you hear them?
I was conferring with my smiths, I think.
It is a fool's hope.
Hope is never mere,
Nice.
not even when it is meager.
Nice. I feel like that was such a strong line when
Or have you forgotten your own counsel?
he said that before. And we're seeing, I feel like in this scene especially, Elrond is I want to say regaining, but regaining is maybe not the right word. Presenting his power, his own individual power, and his strength as an elf. Not necessarily equal, but, you know, of a match with Gil-galad. Elrond is Elrond at the end of the day, right? And we want to see more of him being that and coming into, you know, himself and the, you know, the Elrond and the authoritative person, the character, the elf that we know. And it's nice. We start to see it, I think, in the last couple episodes with him, you know, talking to the dwarves and being like, I don't know whether you should trust the elves, mate, but you can trust me. And I do feel like he's slowly kind of coming into his power, and it's been nice to see that. And again, yeah, just the repetition of that line. I feel like that line was such a strong through line, especially to his character. And I like that he's wielding it. Yeah, Halbrand is just enmeshed in this process now. Again, so suspicious to me. And I like that they've like offset it at the beginning of the episode by like dropping that bomb on you with the stranger being like, so we've come to serve you, Sauron. It immediately gets you. That's the thing. Okay, so pause. Structurally, this episode so far is really nice. Because the reason that I'm speculating so much now is one, because it's the finale and they knew you were going to speculate so much, because that's kind of been throughout the show and they knew that people were going to be speculating, right? They just knew that. One. 2, they kind of answer the question. But then, you know, because of the way that the show's gone and the way that the show's progressed, the fact that they answer the question makes it seem as if they're trying to bluff you. So to kind of like assert that, you know, the stranger is Sauron, it immediately has the opposite effect of what it's kind of supposed to do, and I think it's on purpose, right? It puts you more on edge. I don't know, maybe you guys thought differently when you saw this and you were like, oh cool, stranger's the Sauron. No, the stranger is Sauron. But the way that the episode has continued to go, they don't stop. Right, that's the key, I think. You know, the story beats and the way that they model the story, they don't stop in trying to make you suspicious of like Halbrand being Sauron, for example. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like they said, oh, we've answered it now we're not going to address it, we're just going to get on with the episode. They're like, we've answered it now, we're also going to throw this in and make you speculate even more and make you question what we've told you. Do you know what I mean? So that dynamic in the finale of the show, and at least in the first, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes of the show, is so prevalent. And I think that's really important for kind of keeping the tension up and keeping the, you know, the audience kind of guessing and keeping them engaged through that as well. Even if the stranger turns out to be Sauron, it still does that. The show still has that effect based on the structure and the way that they've structured the episode. Yeah, now she's suspicious of Halbrand. She's looking at him wondering.
I need royal lineages.
Interesting. Yeah, once more, she's kind of the lone, even when she's back and she's been proved right, she's kind of alone in this.
All of a sudden, the two of you seem quite familiar.
Yeah, let's get them together and talk.
Thank you, Galadriel, for saving my life.
And I wonder if he is Sauron, how honest he's being here. Because I feel like it'd be more interesting that he was being honest here.
You pushed me to heights that no one else could have. I will never forget that.
See, because this is really nice.
And I'll see to it that no one else does either.
Yeah, if he is Sauron, the double-edgedness of that line, that she is in some part responsible, culpable for him reaching the heights that he might reach. Even though it's like confirmed that it's the stranger, it's like, no, we're still going with Halbrand.
The more your powers awaken.
Okay.
Visible in but one place.
Okay.
Far to the east.
The east. That makes sense.
The lands of Rune.
And not being funny, he's tall as
Where you will be known at last.
like, this all makes kind of sense.
Lord Sauron.
Again, pressing the point harder and harder. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it's just straight, he's Sauron. I don't know.
Bind him.
Like, why would they be wrong? That's my question. Have they been deceived? Hello, boys. What we got? Just chill, just chill, just watch. Yeah, I love they're playing with us. They're playing with the audience in this guessing game of who Sauron is. I like that. I do like that. But it does rely somewhat on the answer they finally give us. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. Where's the third one? There's only 2 of them went away, mate. Oh, there's the third one. I told you.
Run!
Oh, bless him. Oh, mate, what a hero. Yike. Oh no, buddy.
Sonic!
Laurie. Scarper. Never mind. Man, she is so creepy, I swear. In the best way, though. I do like her depiction. Hello. They're threatening Nori. Stranger ain't gonna like it. Hello. Go on, buddy. Hello. What have you got, mate? Oh. Oh, oh. Nice. Oh. Hello. What? Oh, yes, mate. God, I tell you what, this boy got 9 lives, hasn't he? Nice shot, though, dude.
Take it!
Oh.
We need you, please just take it!
Get away from me.
Oh, hello.
I'll hurt you.
Oh, bless him.
They showed me what I am.
Interesting. Oh, they showed
Only you
you
can show what you are.
memories of a life that weren't yours.
You're here to help. I know it.
They're pushing that through line as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm willing to believe it. And this is the thing. I'm so skeptical as to what is true and what isn't at this point. Hello, mate. Yes, come on.
To Shadow I bid you return.
He is not Sauron. He is the other. The Istar. He is...
The Istari.
Good.
Yes! Told you! Oh. Okay, hello. So he's a wizard. Which one? We're seeing a lot of white. So maybe Saruman. But I like that. I like that he's not Sauron, you know. So why did they make that mistake, though? Who set them on this path? That's what I'm curious of. And why? And I'd be fine if they left that to season 2. This is a nice payoff for this arc for like season 1. For me. Would also be very interesting if they chose him to be Saruman at this point, because, you know, he's gone through this whole arc of him choosing good, you know, and the implications of that going forward and what we know where he goes.
I have you.
And who has you?
Good. Yeah, this man needs to be comforted. I hope, by the way, that if we don't see Isildur this season, we get an arc with him next season where he is just making a way for himself in Middle-earth, right? At the very least, he's alone, and he'll have to learn. He'll have to survive, maybe make friends, you know, comrades, maybe that's his rise to prominence. Maybe that's his rise to the fruition of where he can get to. You know, maybe that's his rise to glory. But yeah, I'd find that super interesting, so we'll see.
And I, for one, will see to it that we make the end worth the price. Come what may.
Nice. And hey, it was completely understandable what he was doing, where he was going and what he was feeling last episode. You know, he was lashing out and understandable. Emotional response, you're gonna. But nice that we've had this re-establishment of it's like, it's worth it. You know, we gotta believe we made these decisions for good reasons. Let's see it out. Evil eyebrows. I'm not over it. What happened, lads? Yeah, so, sorry. Yeah, so, pause. Tyler, be less excited. No, never. Yeah, so, sorry. Confirmation, obviously. The stranger is an Astari, not Sauron. But, opens up the door for Halbrand. Again, I'm torn on that. I am torn on that. I've always said that I just want him to be a character that rises and falls, as opposed to just being like this character that's Sauron. You know what I mean?
Perhaps that is enough for today. Perhaps we've been pushing ourselves too hard.
Yeah. Galadriel coming in, supplying a calm mind.
It's too hard.
And Halbrand always has the answer nowadays, doesn't he?
Supposing we've been using too much force.
A little bit too brilliant.
We've been doing it all inside out.
Oh, Halbrand's Sauron, isn't he? Honestly, I'm seeing it more and more. Just the Celebrimbor element to it this episode is just... I see it. I don't want to. But I see it. Yeah. But again, I've said all season, he's a red herring. And I wonder how far they're going to push that red herring. That's all.
It's too much power for one object. Something smaller.
But this is the thing. I think the depiction of Sauron, to make it good, in my mind, my opinion, and, you know, people may differ on this, that's fair, is to make him genuinely almost, not repentant, but benevolent. And, you know, have these moments of kindness and softness be real. And him trying to find perhaps another way, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I want to explore. That's the thing. With Sauron, I feel like there's so much potential for like a character study. And I do really just want them to dive into that. And I feel like it'll be interesting to really get into, like, if it is Halbrand, for example, and, you know, he's had those moments of softness, of companionship between Galadriel. I want to explore those, you know, and I want to explore them in a way of like, he's like, no, it's real. Like, I'm not lying to you. Even though, you know, the natural response would be to be like, you're Sauron, you're lying to me, you're a deceiver, right, and all this stuff. I want to see that. I want to see that lighter side, that softer side, you know, the side that is antagonism, that is to some extent understandable, because I think it'll make Sauron even stronger as an intriguing, you know, villain in the end. So yeah, that's what I want to see. That is what I want to see, regardless of whether it's Halbrand or not, or if it is Halbrand or not. More specifically, is what I've kind of been talking about, I suppose, in that little talk there. But that's what I want to see.
There is no king of the Southlands.
I told you I found it on a dead man.
No.
Okay, he's going straight in.
You fought beside me.
Against your enemy and mine. I have been awake since before the breaking of the first silence. I have had many names.
Okay. I'm mixed immediately. We'll get to it. And I'll be honest, sorry, at this moment, pause, it does cheapen a little bit the stranger thing at the beginning. For me. Only because I see now that they did that to try to take the attention off of Halbrand for a little bit longer. So it's interesting. My opinion on that has morphed, I think, as I've watched this episode. I liked it at first. Now I'm like, okay, that's why they did it. Does that make it bad? Not necessarily. I think as well, my opinion is coloured by the idea that I didn't like Halbrand as Sauron. I just didn't. I didn't want him to be that, you know, this whole time. Even though, you know, the seeds are there, the signs are there, and I saw them, but I was like, red herring. I felt red herring, and I think as well that was coloured by the idea that I didn't want him to be. I wanted Halbrand and Galadriel to be this platonic, companionable duo. And I wanted Halbrand to be this figure who rose and then fell. There was a fall there, and if they did that really well, it would hit you because they built him up so well. But now I see that they were clearly just rising him up in your mind to then be like Sauron. Now it doesn't necessarily mean that this initial disappointment cannot bear fruit, because like I say, I think if they do this right in the ways that I've talked about previously, it could be really good. So mixed is my take on that. Honestly, play. Also means very spicy things in regards to Galadriel and their relationship now, and the way that they did find that bond. And I do find that super interesting, super interesting, and I love that element to it.
My task was to ensure peace.
And that's Sauron's goal.
That was Sauron's task as well.
No, you died.
Oh, hello.
He was seeking a power, not to destroy Middle-earth, but to heal it.
We hear that again, heal it. Those on that side of the fight, that's how they see it.
You needn't lie to them. Simply let the work proceed.
Really trying to beguile her.
Touch the darkness once more.
Wow, he's really... And you know what? I don't even blame him, Pause, because she has demonstrated that she has this darker side, and that if treated right, she might even go over. Like, I could see, do you know what I mean? I could absolutely see how he would be like, yeah, she can turn. Because she's displayed that element, that element of her character has been displayed throughout the season. So yeah, that is... I believe that.
Look at me!
Hello.
I am your friend.
You're a friend of Morgoth's.
Yeah, let's dig into this.
When Morgoth was defeated,
Yes, tell me. Lay it on me, baby.
it was as if a great, clenched fist
Oh.
had released its grasp from my neck.
Oh.
If ever I was to be forgiven, then I had to heal everything that I had helped ruin.
I believe him. I think he's genuine.
I told you the truth. I told you that I had done evil and you did not care.
That's true.
But our past meant nothing.
That's true. Yeah.
Weighed against our future.
Interesting. But he is trying to play his game with her. He absolutely is. And there's a level of, I don't know, is there a level of deception to that? I think that maybe is. He came at her with an argument in bad faith because he didn't present the argument fully before she rendered her verdict.
I alone can see your greatness.
And you know what? That's a really strong through line, because throughout this whole season we've seen that. Everyone's rejected her. Everyone's been like, you're wrong, send her away. And not being funny. Halbrand has been there, and they've built this bond. At a certain point, they were there for each other. He's not wrong. This is what I want to see from this. If they're going to do this, this is what I want to see from it.
I would make you a queen.
And there we get that image evoked in Fellowship of her being like, and I would be a queen. And there we go. We get those very intense close-up camera angles that we saw between these two previously as well. Kind of almost like foreshadowing this connection between them.
The Dark Lord.
Not dark, not with you at my side.
And that's an interesting question. Would he be as dark if he had her?
You bind me to the light, and I bind you to power together.
And I think he's genuine. And I like that.
Safe or rule.
Yeah.
I see no difference.
Oh, hang on. And that's
why.
Yeah, that's the stickler. That he sees no... That's big. That he sees no difference between those things, because you got to.
Sauron lives because of you!
And you will die because of me!
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful the way they did that. And there we go. Pause. Extra clarity on her arc through this season. It was setting up for this. So she had to have that element of darkness. She had to have in episode 1 immediately that establishment that she was willing to leave her men to die. And then we had the season progress and show that she wasn't just cold and willing to let those around her die. You know, she could be a great grand warrior Galadriel who cared for people. And we have seen her care for people. We have seen that demonstrated as well. And look, you know, we can talk about all day about how good a job they did on that. For me, I'm good with it. I think for a lot of people, maybe not, and that's cool, whatever. It is what it is. But I think the intent was there to basically do that and seed that for this moment. That's absolutely why they did that. And hey, for me, it works. And for me, that makes that moment powerful, because it does. It shows you that, you know, she is almost on the path of Sauron. And I think maybe her realizing that is possibly what's going to pull her back. And I think what is pulling her back, which, yeah, look, you know, my feelings on him being Sauron are mixed. They are. I do like it to a certain extent as well. I do like it for certain reasons. yeah, it is what it is. Let's see how this goes. Play. And again, I think a lot of how I feel about this episode and this season is going to be decided in these last 23 minutes.
Galadriel, stop! Elrond! It's Elrond!
Okay, Elrond, I feel like, needs to be a calming hand here. She needs a friend, bless her. And God, isn't Elrond such a good friend? We've seen that as well demonstrated with him and Durin. Do you know what I wish? And this is also a weakness, I think, of how this is ending, is that we're not getting a long stretch of time where Sauron has been in the workshop with Celebrimbor. That, to me, is a little bit too quick. And I know it's not this quick in the lore. I think, honestly, this story element would have been stronger if it had gone on for a little bit longer. I understand how they've done it and why they've done that. I think because of what they set up with Halbrand and the story, leading up to this and so far, I think it makes sense. But I am lamenting a little bit of how little we're getting of that, I think.
Galadriel!
And this forging is happening so quick as well.
Where is Halbrand?
Oh, he sees almost immediately.
We must make 3.
Hello.
Why
there
3?
we are.
1 will always corrupt. 2 will divide.
With 3, there is balance.
Sound logic.
Powers we forge today must be for the elves alone.
And hey, going into season 2, now that they have the rings, we might get a bit more of a magical Galadriel, because at the end of the day, her powers come from that. Her greater magical powers come from the ring.
I need gold and silver from Valinor.
Oh, and hey.
True creation requires.
And do you notice as well, Pause, that she's trading the dagger for the ring? And again, it comes back to this idea of her depiction in this season as being this warrior, which I've enjoyed. And I honestly think, a lot of the backlash has been unwarranted, unfounded. Not unfounded because I get why, but it's like, just chill. It's fine. Just chill, please. For the love of God. But it's very symbolic that she's trading that physical weapon for this item of power. And I do think in season 2, we are going to see a little bit of a Galadriel that's a little bit closer to this one that we know.
I know I must go to Rune.
Right, okay, so maybe, are we going to go to Rune, to the east? That would be so interesting for season 2, man. But the blue go to the east, the blue wizards go to the east, so I'm like, Although, if it's Saruman or Gandalf, like I know in the lore, they turn up in the Third Age, or at least have a prominent role in the Third Age. And I've literally read from the books and the Wizard's introduction in the Silmarillion, for example. And there's nothing to say that they weren't present in the ages before the Third by a different name. Like they had a very prominent role in the Third Age, and at least to like most people, they were introduced in the Third Age, but there's an interpretation to the text from the source material that says they were present perhaps under other names, and perhaps the reason that maybe Gandalf or Saruman, for example, weren't in Middle Earth, or at least in the greater tellings of the west of Middle Earth of what we know, was because perhaps they were in the east, Rune. That would make sense, mate. That would make sense to me. And I want to see more. I want to see more from the East, from Rune, from a place that I've not seen a story from before. So that would be really cool. I like the direction the season's going. I like how it is tying up and giving answers. We're seeing an answer to the stranger. We're seeing an answer to who is Sauron. A little bit quick for the Halbrand thing and the Sauron thing and the, Eregion and the rings and all that. But we're getting answers to them. So we're not just getting like, cliffhanger season 2, which I like.
In your tongue, that means wise one.
Hello, wizard.
Wizard.
Yeah, boy. But which one? It gives you an answer, but lets you speculate.
So it was a bit like an adventure.
Hello, Bilbo.
No adventures. They must be shared.
Oh, he's got to be Gandalf. That's so Gandalf. And isn't it warmer? Isn't it nicer to know that Gandalf was at work and present and doing his thing before we knew it? I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to be angry and it's like, he shouldn't be here now, but hey, what if he was? There's an interpretation that from the literal text that he could have been. The possibility's there if you open your mind to it. And I think, the show is being like, yeah, interpretation, here we go. We think he was. Our interpretation is that he was, and we're going to do something with that. Like I say, isn't it warmer? Isn't it nicer that this character that is so beloved, Gandalf the Grey, the grey version of him, that in some sense hasn't been depicted for very long on screen, like Gandalf the Grey gets one film. In Peter Jackson's trilogy, for example, he's more Gandalf the White, which is a completely different character. And so isn't it nice to know that person, that presence, that character was at work? And yeah, we didn't know that he was doing that over there, and that's okay. That's okay to me. And nobody walks alone. Oh.
Better in sad accidents.
Oh, it did a little bit, I'll be honest with you.
You're part of something bigger now.
Oh, is she going with him?
He needs you, and you belong out there.
Yeah, and we're getting, through this story, this new telling, we're getting an element of like the Hobbit going away with the wizard. We're getting Frodo and Gandalf. We're getting Bilbo and Gandalf. We're getting Nori, Gandalf. And I do feel like that's such a nice, because they can kind of do what they want in Rune in the East. That is an element of the lore that is very unexplored. I'm so excited for that. They're delving into the unknown with something intrinsically familiar. Oh, this is so much more painful because she's not necessarily got somewhere to come back to.
You'll be bold.
Oh, she will. I love this. What a way to incorporate the storyline that you think can't really go anywhere. Like halfway through the season, I'm like, I'm fine if this is just apart from the plot. You know, just give it its own little story. But they've just, you know, they've widened it so well, so beautifully. And not only that, they've incorporated everything that we kind of associate now so warmly, so intrinsically with Lord of the Rings, with The Hobbit, with this world.
Perhaps it would be best if you lead off.
Oh, and what a way to establish Gandalf's love of the hobbits and establish that connection. It casts into such warm light his relationship with Bilbo and Frodo later down the line. Do you know what? I didn't expect to get from this finale such a concluding beat to this story that I found so fulfilling. This has been the kind of the surprise, the pleasant surprise, the standout surprise for me for this episode.
There it is.
Are you sure?
There's a sweet smell on the air this way.
Oh, he's got to be Gandalf, hasn't he? Come on.
Always follow your nose.
Oh, there it is. Come on. I love it. And I fucking love it. And anyone that wants to say otherwise, fuck off. I don't give a shit. You ain't getting him. You're not getting in the way of my happiness, mate. You just not. You just not. No one can. That's mine. That's mine. And hey, a season to the Rings of Power ending in the Forging of the Rings. Nice. Yeah, still the Mithril thing unanswered, and I do wonder whether they're going to do something with that in later seasons. The Eye of Sauron, I love that little image there. Even though their rings are almost the antithesis to Sauron's power and his rings, right? But I guess, you know, it represents his inclusion and his influence in this process. Nice. I like they're taking their time with this at least. What are you thinking, mate? Yeah, we forget. Did Galadriel actually tell Elrond? Very nice. When he's tempted by them. Okay. Despite what he's just learned. Interesting. Oh, the look of knowing between them. I wonder how much of that look that he's giving her is like, I worry for you. Because, right, that's kind of him kind of saying or thinking, I feel. She forged these rings and encouraged the forging of this power, let's not forget, to fight Sauron. And there's a little bit of darkness, a little bit of ruthlessness in that. And I wonder whether that was that look between Elrond to her. And I do think he is that perceptive as well. And I think that element is there to it as well. Him seeing this version of Galadriel that we've been getting all season. And you know what? I can't wait to see this boy and his progression in regards to Galadriel and everyone else. And his character arc that they're going to come up with for Sauron going forward. I'm super excited for that. I think there's a lot of potential to that. I think that if they get it right, it could be amazing.
For the elven kings under...
There it is. Okay, so I feel like a lot to talk about, but at the same time, the way that I do my videos is a lot of talking throughout. So I think I've eloquated a lot of my thoughts on what's happened already, honestly. So I guess let's try and sum up, I suppose, Season 1 overall, and what do I think of it? Overall, positive. Is that a surprise? Not so much. I think I've enjoyed this series, you know, throughout, and I think I've eloquated why in my various videos. Is it devoid of problems? No. It has its own little issues. Do they spoil the show for me in the way that I think, you know, there's been this cultural backlash to it? Absolutely not. I think that, honestly, that whole thing is silly to me personally. I don't want to talk about that too much in this video, but you know, I'll comment briefly. I think, you know, like the haters and the vitriolic aggression, I think, especially something that I've seen in my comments of these videos, for example, because I like the show. I do want to just kind of, you know, say, you know, at the end of the day, I've been in the creative business for more than 10 years now, and it bears very little impact on me personally, criticism or people being like, no, you're wrong, your opinion is blah, blah, you know, and it's like silly, because I think a lot of those people don't understand what opinion is, which is really sad. It's a shame. It is what it is, and I think, you know, they should be taken with a pinch of salt, which is difficult because at the end of the day, they come with a bucket of salt. But enough about them, forget it. This season, what do I think? I think, you know, look, the season as a whole, I think has had a little bit of an issue with pacing, a little bit of an issue with structure. I think those two kind of tie together hand in hand. Has it ruined the show for me? No, absolutely not. Of course not. I've enjoyed what's there, and I think I've enjoyed, you know, I've enjoyed the pacing as well. I do like the fact that it's been a slow show. I like that we've, you know, spent time with these characters. I think equally alongside that, we haven't spent time with enough of the characters. You know, I draw back to, I mean, Celebrimbor, most notably. Even thinking just now, like Pharazon, we haven't seen lots of him. I think these are characters, by the way, that we're going to get, hopefully, in, you know, later seasons and in season 2 and going into season 2, and I hope that we develop more of those guys, especially like Pharazon, for example, who we've seen very little of. I think what I did say was that a lot hinged on how they tied up various loose ends, but also left things into season 2, and I think they've actually done a pretty good job of that. I think they've done a really, really good job with the Stranger. I think, you know, it's been a bit of a mixed bag of an episode because, you know, that structural beat of, you know, calling the Stranger Sauron at the beginning was very, very, very clever, very well done, and set the tone for the episode of like guessing back and forth. But then, you know, obviously we had the reveal, and then I realised that the only reason to do that was to kind of put you off the scent of Halbrand, who is so strongly hinted at. And I thought so strongly as to make him a red herring. I think because they built a compelling character on his own, I wanted him to be a compelling character on his own. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they kind of had a bit of a double-edged sword there that I think, to me, they did a good enough job that I wanted a bit more from him than just Sauron. At the same time, I think it means interesting things going forward for Halbrand Sauron. I do think that too. I think if we're going to see a good version, or at least, you know, a conflicted version or a grey version of Sauron, which I think hopefully they do double down on, then that's great. That's something I really want to see. But something as well that worries me about that is they have kind of just skipped everything on that as well. I think there was a really good opportunity there in Eregion to have Halbrand or Sauron, whoever that might be, you know, previous to knowing who it was, with Celebrimbor and forging the rings and building up to that. I feel like that was very rushed, very quick. And I would have liked that to have spread out a little bit more. I would have, and I think they did kind of screw the pooch a little bit on that story bit, on the way they executed that little bit. Did I dislike what happened? No, but I do wish they had stretched it out a little bit more, paced it a little bit more better. And that's what I'm talking about when I say like they paced things a little bit iffy for me. So like while I've enjoyed the pacing of the show itself, and I've enjoyed and found enjoyment in that a lot, and realised that I think a lot of people don't like it for that, and that's fair too. I think, you know, at the same time, that is also a negative in some respects, that being a big one for me. For this episode, I'd say it's mixed, but overall positive. I think, you know, the ending of The Stranger and Nori was really, really strong for me, just personally. I think, you know, the Halbrand thing isn't bad inherently, but I'm mixed on it. I think the way they executed that wasn't the best, but I also did like the direction they went. I just think they could have told it in a better way. If I was to give it a score, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10, which I think is pretty average over positive. Season as a whole, for me, I would come out as an 8. I know that's very high for a lot of people, and I'm not even going to address the vitriolic haters because they're a thing of their own, and, you know, they can abide in their corner, I suppose. Yeah, I think as the season as a whole, I like the slow pace, I like the character work, I like the character build up. I found a lot of nuance in the dialogue, and, you know, I've had a few people comment about, like, you know, you're creating the nuance, Tyler, and it's like, sure, fine, that doesn't make it inaccurate. It doesn't. Like, even if they didn't intend that nuance in the writing process, like, fine, go over there and talk about the writing process and how they didn't intend it, but it doesn't matter because my videos are opinion based, and if I see it in there, then it exists. That's how opinion works. I think I've given a nice little bite-sized chunk of what I think of this episode and the season overall. Chime down in the comments. What did you think? What did you think of this episode? What do you think of the season overall? If you're just going to say it's trash, please try not to. I don't care. I know you exist already. You don't need to let me know. Thank you to those of you who have watched these videos, enjoyed these videos. I know you're there, and I appreciate you a great deal. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching these videos as well. When season 2 comes out, that will definitely be something that I will be looking to cover on my channel. So if you've not subscribed already, you know, you're just coming to this video and this is brand new for you. Hello, hi, hello. Scroll down. If you're not subscribed, consider doing that. Hey, at the end of the day, helps me out a lot. But hey, maybe it helps you out a lot as well, and maybe we have a good time together. So thank you for being here. Thank you as always to my patrons. Lovely, lovely people. I'm covering Sandman over there, the rest of Sandman over there. If you're interested, links down below. And other than that, I'll see you soon.